Kansas City Power and Light recently renovated the Crosstown Sub-Station at 18th and Cherry. The location was once the site of the Holmes Square Park, and that has historical significance to the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department. You see, that's back when Eleanor Caney kept the bad elements out of the park. She was so good at it, she was offered a job and thus became the first KCPD female officer. And how does all this relate? Sergeant Tony Sanders, president of the Kansas City Police Historical Society, explains.
Back in 1910, Eleanor Caney was her name. She was a playground director for the newly, commissioned playground there at Holmes Square, 18th and Holmes. She did her job so well that 200 to 300 kids every day would come from the surrounding areas to that first city park to go to the bathhouse that was situated there, be involved in activities and recreational games and what have you. Then Miss Caney would basically organize. Along with that, based on the area at the time, you had a lot of factories and factory workers that they tried to use the park for their own activities, and the Parks Board decided that they would ask the police board to commission her as a police officer. One of the significant things that happened with Miss Caney was, in fact, that she was considered, and still is considered, one of the first police women in America, not only in the Kansas City area, but in America, because women weren't even allowed to vote. We are appreciative for the Kansas City Power and Light Company to recognize her and recognize the ground there at 18th and Holmes during their renovation. And we think it'll be a good educational opportunity for all Kansas Cityans and people who travel and visit here.
KCP&L could have simply constructed fencing around all of it, but instead committed considerable resources to connect it to the area's rich cultural heritage and reflect its ties with the area's art community. We spoke with KCP&L's Paul Snyder.
We recognized there was an opportunity to really put some additional investment in this substation wall. It had been there since the 60s, and like many things that were built in the 50s and 60s, it was just in need of some repair. So instead of just putting up the traditional wall, we thought this is a great opportunity to kind of bridge the 18th and Vine community with the Crossroads community and do something that the community would be proud of and really want to come and look at, instead of just having a substation right in the middle of town. There's going to be integrated solar panels that are going to power a number of lights that kind of change with different LED lighting on different days of the week. It'll be different. So if you go by on a Monday night, it's going to be one thing. If you go back the next week, it could be something entirely different. There's going to be some permanent art structures there that rotate, but there'll also be opportunities for some short-time viewing of different arts. And we're going to rely on the arts community to tell us what should go in there. We're not just going to pick from down here in Kansas City, Missouri, what should go there. We're going to work with them to see what they would like to see. We have a ribbon cutting for this on the evening of Friday, June 7th. It's kind of one of the first Fridays for the Crossroads District. So the mayor, our CEO, Terry Bassam, will be there, and several council members there to cut the ribbon to kind of christen this for the community. We're just really proud. We're anxious to see the community response to this. Like I said, this is one of the first ones that we've done, kind of a whole-scale facade redesign for a substation. This is going to be one of the marquee ones. We're not going to be able to do this to all of our substations, but we're interested to see what the community reaction is.
While the unveiling is June 7th, the solar-powered LED panels will provide an ongoing enhancement for pedestrians and vehicular traffic. I'm Officer Shelley Gaddis. Have a safe week.